Marwan, and I welcome you to the second part of our postgraduate job application tutorials. Last time in the first video, we stopped in the third chapter. I think we have finished this chapter, but let me skim through it very quickly before we continue with our second part, in which we're gonna cover the advanced networking tactics, how to contact alumni from the same university who might be working in jobs we are interested in, the job hunt timeline, when should we apply, when should we make our first move towards a position, and also the general techniques for success. These are, yeah, it means before and after working, not necessarily during a job hunt, and the conclusion. Um, so the last thing we talked about is that 70% our direct applications, of our applications should be direct. They should be from the website of the company we're applying to, or they should be face to face. So actually, it's preferably face to face. It is much more preferable because when we go there, we show ourselves, we show that we have motivation, that we have confidence, that we have courage to actually show up without an interview or with an interview. Unfortunately, these days, as you all know, interviews are either online, 90% of them, or they are done by AIs, which is very, I mean, it's not the ideal situation for me, at least. I'm still not used to AI interviews, so actually having a direct meeting with the hiring team is much more beneficial, even if you don't know much about the job. It's enough to know the basics. It's enough to be able to talk, to be able to express yourself confidently, and show up in an appropriate attire. Of course, this is very important. You have to wear working, not casual clothes. This is also applicable to interviews, whether they're online, done by AI, or face to face. So, as we have said before, we apply through the company career portal, which is usually in the website, in the CRM. We find it in this area or down there. Or you can just make it simpler and search for careers. Secondly, I mean, these numbers are of course approximate. It doesn't have to be precisely 70, 20, 10, but approximately this is how it should go. 28% of our application processes or the research should be targeted networking, which is to reaching out to people who work in the department you are applying to. So, for example, if you're applying to the sales position in a company, you find the sales manager or other sales men who are working in this department through LinkedIn or any social media, and messaging them a short message expressing your interest in the position, expressing that you would love to work with them, that this is your qualifications, this is your experience, this is your school that you graduated from, and just letting them know that you're there. Most of the time, you wouldn't get a reply, but especially if it's a school alumni from your school, in that case, Otto, most probably they reply to you, even if it seemingly wouldn't lead to anything. At least you get your reply, and they know you. Perhaps in the future they would reach out to you if there's a vacant position or if they can help in any way. And 10%, as we said before, is through LinkedIn, Indeed, and the other boards, such as Employ, for example. There's Glassdoor, lots of different. You can like type to an AI and ask them which are the most useful, like 10 websites, and it will give you a list. You can also apply through those, but don't get your hopes so high from these job boards because they are the most used by graduates, non-graduates, everyone, so except the employer. So usually the employers or the companies, not all companies are in these boards. We should know this too. Most of the companies are actually, not most, but a big number of them is actually like offline. They only have a website, even if they have a website. Some of them don't even have a page on Google Maps. So best thing to do is networking and knowing where to go face to face, and just have a meeting, a casual meeting over there. Introduce yourself, as I said in the beginning. I think this is still the most logical thing and effective thing to do, because let's be real about it. Let's be realistic. Most of the capital holders, capital owners, the people with the actual money, the owners of businesses, are from a different generation. They are still thinking in the classic way of doing it, of applying, of hiring people. So actually, when you go there, you give them a reason to prefer you to those who apply solely through these job boards. Also, identifying high growth sectors is important, as we have said earlier, how to spot industries that are currently hiring. So, this is through following of news, following of company news, as is said in the second part in here. So, you follow the company news, and for example, if there is a new regional office that is being opened in your area or in your city, it means they're gonna need employees to run it, obviously. So it's better to target it before they are booked. And following the industry news, like if it's renewable energy that you're interested in working in, you can just follow the news of renewable energy and see what is new, what's going on in the industry. Um, is it flourishing right now? Is it stagnant? And accordingly, you can make a move. And also, following politics is important to understand the economy and what sectors you should target, what sectors you should or you it's better to just avoid because they're unstable, for example. So these are all intertwined factors in the job search. We don't want to spend lots of time applying to one sector and then realize after we get the job that it is collapsing, basically. So we need also to make our homework about the sector we're trying to work in. Now we move to the next part of the video, which is the advanced networking tactics, the alumni hook. So a warm outreach would never hurt. It's always a good idea to talk with an alumni from your school. Let them know that you are interested in working together with them in their company or in a similar department in any company or in a different position. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the connection. What matters is that you make the first move, give some effort to have some communication, perhaps a meeting, and it doesn't have to be over something super solid. It can only be like, hey, I would love to get some experience from you. Maybe you can provide me with an insight about job hunting, about the process, about what I should be expecting, what should I be targeting, especially if it's an alumni from your department in school. So this is a plus because they will tell you exactly what you should be looking for. If you're in a technical department, like let's say computer engineering, it will be much more helpful than just contacting an alumni from, let's say, chemical engineering or history. So it's very important to not sound needy because it will put them off, obviously, because it will seem that there is something you're expecting from him or her, so this is not very good. It's better to just, as I said earlier, ask him for an insight rather than ask him for a job. Uh, Insight here meaning an informational interview. So I would love to learn from your experience, we can say. And yeah, what should I be expecting? I'm new to this, I'm new to being a graduate. So what should I do as a graduate? Where should I look as a graduate? And also, here in the third part, we said that only 10% of our application effort, of our job hunting effort, should be through LinkedIn and similar websites. This doesn't mean, however, that we should not optimize our LinkedIn and keep it up to date. Here, when I say we should apply through LinkedIn only for 10%, I mean the application process. But wherever you find a job, whether it's a direct application, uh, whether it's through connections and networks, references, or just going randomly somewhere and they find that you're a good fit, they will most probably check your LinkedIn profile to see if the experiences match, to see what connections you have, to see what have you done, to see if you are online, basically. So it's always a good idea to keep your LinkedIn updated. Anything new that you do, that you achieve, whether it's graduation, whether it's a thesis, whether it's a project that you have been involved in, whether it's an internship, post it on LinkedIn. Keep your profile picture up to date, professional. If you have an old profile picture, for example, that is not so professional, that looks like any picture that you can see on Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp, just update it. Take a new picture. If your friend has a good camera, for example, ask him for a session, 10-minute, 15-minute session to have good pictures in your LinkedIn. This is very important. Um, Also, your headline in LinkedIn should be, or it's better to be, a value proposition, not just a job title. So instead of English teacher, for example, you can say education, if you get what I mean. Like you are proposing your value, educating people, not just an English teacher. And the same thing with any other position. Focus on the value of your job instead of just the title of your job. Moreover, it's not very suggested or advised to say that you're an expert in anything so long as you're not. So if you have not been working in let's say corporate, you should not say I'm a corporate communication specialist or expert, because you're not, and they know that you're not. Whoever is checking your CV, because they look at the experience that you have, and if you haven't been actually working in a corporate, it's not good to say expert. However, it's also not good to say non-expert or unexperienced or new. It's good to say, choose your words wisely. We can say, for example, aspiring corporate communication specialist. Aspiring makes a big difference. It means I am looking forward to be an expert. But it's always good to be honest. So let's keep this in mind as well. Also, we have to engage with the decision maker content to stay on the radar. This is a LinkedIn thing. So whoever is the decision maker, whether it's the HR, actually the HR is not the decision maker. I mean, we should also know this. It is the manager of that department who would ask the HR to find someone for him. So if you just contact him or her and talk with them and connect with them, keep on reacting to their posts, messaging them. Of course, not spamming their messages, but letting them know that you're here and you're interested, and engaging with them in on LinkedIn makes a big difference. So they know that you're there and you stay on the radar. So that's of course a big difference to be made than just not doing anything and staying on the distance. Also, references are important when you have a referral path, when you have a referral who is an actual employer or someone with experience, someone with reputation, and they refer you to someone else who might be interested in hiring you. This actually increases your interview chances by a lot, a lot. So this is a human relations thing. It does boost the confidence and the trust in you. You're not just a random person walking through the door. No, you are someone's acquaintance who talked well about you. So it's always good to develop good relationships with whoever it is, not just to get a good referral. This is in general a good thing to do, I believe. It makes a big difference when you are nice with people. And also, if, like, for example, I have been given private classes, language classes, multiple languages during my bachelor experience, during my university life, and during that time, I developed some relationships with my students who afterwards provided references for me. So it does make a difference. We move along to the fifth part of our video, which is the job hunt timeline, when to apply. So of course there's the early bird advantage that is applying in the first 1 or 2 days from the posting of the position. It's very important because otherwise you would see, especially on LinkedIn or Indeed, that over 100 applicants pressed on this job. So just think about it. Even if you're the best one of the applicants, even if you have experience, even if you have been working and have references, you are one among 100. So, and I mean, the earliest of them, or just 20, maybe 30 of them who applied in the first 2 days, they have higher chances of being noticed by the HR. So, two things to do. First, be early, that is, check your LinkedIn, check your Gmail, check your inbox, check any messages that are coming from agents, hiring agents, or recruiters who are telling you, oh, I think that's a good fit for you, I think that's a good job for you. Just apply to it without thinking twice if you think that it is a good fit to you. And message the, we get back here, we message the decision maker of this department. This might sound like a lot to do, but actually it doesn't take more than 5 to 7 minutes to find this person and write a message to them. And when you do it on a daily basis, it becomes much, much easier. And then you just get, hopefully, you get interviews soon enough. Secondly, there are seasonal cycles. So, understanding the hiring sprints. So, there are months in which you hire people, there are months in which you lay off people, there are months in which the company is just stagnant right now, it's or just stable, they don't need to hire anyone. And there are months where people usually leave the companies to go work somewhere else. So there are 4 months of the year, which are usually the months companies open up positions, or people leave companies to open their own businesses or whatever. These are January, February, and September, October. So this doesn't mean that you won't find a job per se if you don't apply during these months, but it's more probable to get a job during these months. because, like, think about it, after February we enter into the spring time, and after October we enter into winter time. So the what to expect also, there's the ghosting reality. Well, understanding that 80% of applications may receive no response. This is a fact, not 80 but 95%. They usually receive a response that is a rejection, so you have to get used to that. You have to just, it's not about only the expectation. You have to focus or target your expectation on yourself by saying I'm not giving up. This is very important. The expectation is not from the other side, because we apply to jobs with the idea of providing them with something. If they reject us, this doesn't matter. It means that they don't need our services, or that we haven't really uh, clearly stated that they need us. We couldn't convince them that they need us. So this is completely understandable. Our expectation should be targeted towards us. We won't give up until we get a good job in a place we're comfortable in. However, no need to stress, no need to lower our expectation also. Like, say for example, I expect 50,000, 60,000 TL per month, and then after a month of complete rejections you decrease the expectation of the income or payment to 40,000. I do not suggest that. You're the one who should know your value, and in the business life your value equals your income. So even if you get rejected, do not start doubting yourself, like, is it my own problem? uh, am I making a mistake here? Is it my fault? Rather, keep on applying, and of course we're gonna move to the part in which we analyze the drop off point, which is an answer to is it my fault. It can be a problem in the strategy, it can be a problem in the CV, in the interview, in the focusing spans. Um, However, this is different. This is a technical thing that can be adjusted easy. Just don't make it personal. This is my suggestion. Do not make it personal. As soon as it gets personal, uh, it kind of shakes off the confidence, it shakes off the uh, willingness to actually find a good job. So let's not make it personal and expect that we are being rejected from or getting no response whatsoever from most of the companies, and know that this is alright. This is a process which most people have to go through. Then we move on to the interview stages. There's the HR screening, a hiring manager interview, technical task phase, and find cultural fit. These are stages you can make your research about. I mean, the first two are, I think, obvious, clear. Then here they give you some tasks, they give you some maybe education if it's a new job, a new field to you. Usually it's 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Then you just get in with the work. Um, you should, as I said earlier, analyze if you have anything that needs fixing in your CV. It can be the title, it can be the picture, it can be uh, the listing of the informations. It should be perhaps listed differently in a different order. It can be the language. If you have any grammatical mistakes, check them and please fix them as soon as possible. You need to be taken seriously, so you have to express yourself and represent yourself seriously. We move on now to the sixth part, general techniques for success. So we can have a job tracker system, maybe using a CRM or a sheet to track a company, role, contact person, date, version of CV used, and follow-up status. This can be through Notion. This website I'm using is really easy to learn. That doesn't take more than a week to master, and it has all the different techniques and things that you can use to create an easy job tracker system. Also, remote work readiness is important, proving remote reliability through past independent projects or digital tool proficiency. In our generation, this is not very hard. We have had, I think, a year or 2 years of hybrid and online education, so we mastered already remote experiences. We know how to use Zoom efficiently. We know how to use Google Workspaces, Google Meets. We know how to use all of the Word and like Microsoft applications. So for us, this is a plus. We can work remotely, and it would surprise you how much remote positions are being offered these days, especially these days. There's also the power of follow up. Like, for example, after you get an interview, which you will hopefully get soon, within 24 hours, within a day, you can just send a thank you note. And if you don't get a reply in the duration of 10 days, you can send a polite check-in to see, like, hello, I hope you are doing well. We have had an interview at that time, at that date, and I am curious. I'm looking forward to have a response from you regarding this interview, etc., etc. So a polite check-in makes them, know that you're still interested and you're expecting a response. And we move to the conclusion part. Firstly, we have to stop asking what can this company do for me. Companies do not care about doing something for their employees per se, as much as they care for what the employees can make for them to, or do for them to make their life easier. So making a small and not very long research about the company can help. How does it operate? And then you would see a weak spot, then you would focus on it and come up with a plan. And it doesn't have to be something technical or very long, it can be simple to make their life easier in this specific spot. So you guys do this in such a way which is, I think, efficient. But I have an idea, we can say, to make this easier, to make this more time efficient and more, of course, profitable for the company. These are keywords. So efficiency, time management, and profit. And of course, building a personal brand based on consistency, reliability, and adaptability is important. So, as I said before, we don't have to have lots of work experience to actually apply these 7 parts to our job hunting experience, to our CVs, cover letters. These are tactics, all of them, and they can be applied to anyone who is a university graduate and who is serious in finding a job. Know what you're looking for, and then do not just apply. Actually, application is just one part of the process. You have to contact the managers, you have to adjust your expectations, you have to not take it personally, not being emotional about it. These are all important parts. And yeah, best of luck to all of you. I wish you the best and see you in a new video.